Alrighty. Welcome back to the channel, guys, with your boy Weenix for yet another episode of Inazuma 11 Victory Road. So, it's been a little while since we kind of covered the most up-to-date information. And I know that the website has been updated with just a few little extra tidbits of info on the game before it releases. Now, we've still got to wait a little while before we get the final trailer for the game, which I think is in June, if I remember correctly. So until then, this is basically the most up-to-date information that we're going to get, really. So I thought it'd be a good idea for me to just kind of, give my thoughts, give a little bit of waffle, and then you guys can let me know in the comments if you anything you've kind of checked out already, if you think is interesting. So we'll see how long this video goes. I don't want to make it too long, so it might be in multiple parts if necessary. But yeah, so first things first, we're just going to kind of go over the story mode info on the website, see if there's anything particularly different to what we saw in the kind of final specs video. So obviously we've got the kind of standard bit of info that we know for the story so far. So obviously we have Destin Billows or Unmei Sasanami, depending on whether you're a sub or dub enjoyer. And he's obviously the boy who yearns for a world without football, at least until he changes his mind. And then Harper Evans or oh my god, or Haru Endo, a football monster who reigns supreme. Obviously, we kind of know this information already, so their encounter marks the start of a magnificent tale. Thanks to the friends that he met at South Zurich Junior High, Destin manages to regain his passion for football. Together, they will try to revive the neglected football club. Will they be able to topple Ryman Junior High, the reigning champions? Now, things to note about the story, right? If you've played an Inazuma 11 game before, literally any one of them, whoever they tell you is the kind of the final boss or the reigning champions, they're never actually the final boss. There's always actually an additional final boss past that, which makes me think that Ryman will not be the final boss. And I think we saw it a little bit in the trailer. um, there's or one of the trailers anyway. There's a section where it says like something unprecedented happens. So there's a very good likelihood that, kind of similar to even the first Inazuma 11, where you're playing, or you thought you were going to be playing against Royal Academy at the very end, and then you end up facing Zeus. I could see a very similar thing happening with regard to Ryman and such. So that would be very interesting to see what direction they actually take with the story. But yeah, so within the story mode, it's obviously hyperdimensional football. It's still an RPG, so we can expect to kind of complete missions to advance the story on our journey to becoming the top football team in Japan. So I think these are this is still kind of par for the course for Inazuma 11 games, to be honest, in terms of having your kind of standard missions to progress a story. We got an understanding even from the beta test slash demo that it was still going to have the standard format of what I think will be 10 chapters. As you kind of progress. So I assume these will all kind of factor into the story entirely. So be good to see how that goes. But they've definitely incorporated more kind of mini games and additional kind of parts to the story to really bolster it. So I think that'll be good. Um, and then kind of, someone will have to let me know here because it's been a little while, and I do want to replay the games on the channel as well, the older games. I can't really remember there being much in the way of side quests, but clearly this time round they have implemented side quests, which I actually think is really good. Number one, for the longevity of the game, but also it just means that it's a unique experience for everyone playing. Everyone likes to play games differently. Do you want to tackle all the side quests in a specific area first before you get along with the main story, or do you just get on with the main story and not really care about side quests? All that sort of stuff will be interesting, but it seems like these side quests will be both inside the school and around the town. So I would assume also that's where the main focus of the story will be. And we can see that with some of the kind of new characters here, we're getting a little glimpse as to some of their special moves. So we've seen that one already. That's with Riker and Sakurazaki Joji. I don't know why I've forgotten his dub names. Alex Lafontaine, and he's got some sort of snowy ability. And then we've got these two. This is the goalkeeper from North Bright, and then the striker from North Bright. So yeah, interesting stuff. And then with regard to symptoms, no systems. So obviously we've got scouting. So any student at school can join your team, meet the conditions, and max out the bond clovers or friendship to make scouting available. So I would assume this is a kind of, is it like a rapport or like a, what do you call it? Like a rapport, or why is the term not coming to me? Like basically you just have to build up a certain relationship or like a level of, friendliness with them, and then once you do, then you're able to recruit them, which is a interesting but pretty good scouting style. And I also think there is something cool to be said about literally seeing any character you want in, in and around the school, and knowing that you can recruit them once you, I don't know, do all the prerequisites. Obviously we also have the selectable characters that are available, but it's good to know, like, because for example, this guy isn't a part of the selectable characters, but you can still go for him if you want. um, so yeah, we can select 5 characters from these 10 involved in the story to join our team. Those not selected won't be available until the very end. Who will you choose? Which is interesting. Once again, it's really creating that variety and replayability for people in terms of how picking 5 of these characters will kind of dictate how the story plays out, really. So that should be quite interesting. Um, and based off the fact that, I think we'll cover this maybe in another video, but there doesn't currently seem to be um like positions tied down for them. I would assume, based on the fact that there's 10 and we already know kind of a lot of positions for the main um South Sirius Junior High team, that there'll be like 2 of these players per position, aka 2 strikers, 2 midfielders, 2 defenders at least, so that depending on who you pick, it's still going to cover the scope of. Actually, you never know. Maybe they're all just able to play everywhere, considering you can select any 5 that you want. So you could realistically, yeah. I guess we'll just see how it goes, really. Because it's not saying that you're like stuck to picking a set type of 5. It's just pick whoever you want. So maybe they are actually all able to play in any position. But yeah, so what else do we got? Oh, and they're all voice acted, which is even better, which really does will really probably increase the likelihood of people wanting to have multiple saves, that sort of thing. Yeah, so there's going to be several events in the story that unfold as focus squabbles from dance offs, which we can kind of see here with Riker. Um, and then what else do we have? Heated arguments with a noodle shop owner. Um, Expect a myriad of unique showdowns. Enable Focus Squabble Auto to automatically see the action unfold before you. That is pretty good, actually. I guess, you can never really complain with an auto feature. It's yeah, just allows you to kind of take a little bit of a backseat approach without, you know feeling like you're doing too much. So that should be good. All right, and then what else do we have? We've got special training, so you can train your characters during the special training phase between matches. Hit training goals to strengthen your team. As the story progresses, you can engage in friendly matches and football battles against various opponents. Yeah, this kind of makes sense. I guess, in previous games we've had like the training centers, or the underground training facilities. Um, yeah, and I guess this is their kind of version in this game of it. So obviously in between matches, and then obviously the random 5v5 story battles that you kind of have against just the random people that make up the story. So that'll be good. Special training spots are all around, whether it's a school stairway or deserted shipyard, plus the match practice mode next to the club room lets you sharpen your skills. So I would assume, and obviously we could be wrong here, but this is going to be one of those, obviously we can see here team HP 61, actions kind of 3. So, I mean, just on a guess and a whim, I'm assuming these are going to be means to, train different areas. You know how you could like train up the kick skills of specific players or that sort of thing. Yeah, it'll be cool to see how exactly the training works, but a theme to fit your special training. Choose and listen to past background musics and theme songs during special training. So we've got 9 different theme songs, which should be interesting. Hopefully they won't be copyrighted, so we can actually play them on YouTube. Um, but yeah, live your school life to the fullest by having a casual chat with characters on the inner chord social network, or snapping photos while exploring and during matches with photo mode. Um, inner chord. What's that meant to like? Oh, geez, I was trying to figure out why it's called inner chord, and then my brain just realized it's just a copy of Discord, isn't it? But Inazuma 11 Discord. But yeah, that's kind of everything for the story on the website. Nothing too crazy, nothing particularly different to what we've heard before, but still good to kind of just go over. So yeah, hope you guys did enjoy that. If you did already know that information or you've already looked at the website, well, appreciate you for still watching the video anyway. But if any of that was kind of new to you, well, yeah, it's been your boy Weenix. I hope you enjoyed. Stick around. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe for the next video. And I will see you guys later. Deuces.